Hi, welcome back. So today we are going to do the solution for the previous problem on objects. Okay. So let's try to complete this today and let's try to understand how to solve the problem. Okay. So let's get back to the problem first. So we have altogether, I think, six problem altogether. Let me scroll and check. So I think it's all completely six problem. So let us try how much we can complete it today. So let's go for the first problem. So yeah, so let me first make it zoom. Okay, so let's first understand the problem. So the first problem says create a person object. So we have to create one object basically. So we'll create a object name person. Okay, this is step one. Okay, this is kind of step one. Okay, next what they're telling with name, address, phone, email, and password. So this object has these all properties. Okay, so properties name will be property name will be name, address, phone, email, and password. Okay, so these are all the property inside that object we have to add. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to do some operation like see and add a new property name length to the existing object. So first we have to create an object with this all property and then we have to do some manipulation, okay, using some method, and we have to calculate name length. Okay, so one new property to be added. So next new property to be added, name as name name length, right? So what is the value for that? So value is to the extent of that by counting total length of the name property. So we have to calculate the total length. So whatever name we are passing as a value, that value we have to calculate the length of that total character. Okay, like let's suppose the name is John. So name length value should be 4, right? So if John, then value should be 4. Okay, so it should be like this. Now let's try to convert this into VS Code. Okay, so let's get back to the VS Code. Okay, so let's start. So we are just going to do some plus. Okay, and okay, so let's start with this. So starting from let person equals curly bracket, we have name. Okay, so this we are passing as John. Okay, next we'll move on to address. We are passing as India, and we'll see what is other what properties are there: name, address, phone, email, password. So we'll go for phone. It's very basics, just to understand like whether how you are going to create a object. Okay, that is it. This is the first problem. Okay, phone. Now next it is email. Email john@gmail.com will create, and then we'll create a new password. Okay, so I'll just write password as ASTF1234. Okay, so this is halfway we have completed. So we have completed creating the person object, we have completed name, address, phone, email, and password. So we have completed this. Now what next? What is that? Add the new property as name length, right? So we have to add the new property. So already we know how to add a new property. We have to write person dot operator. Either you can use dot operator or you can use bracket notation, right? So we can just person dot name length, okay, equals. So what we have to find out? We have to find the total length of the character of name property. Okay, so name value is John. So to access this name value, what we'll do? We'll just do person dot name. So person dot name will give you the name, that is basically John. Okay, and then on top of this we have to calculate the length. So we'll close with open bracket, close bracket, and then we'll do dot length. Okay, dot length. So dot length of name will give you 4 because John has 4 letter. Okay, 4 character. So that's why it will give you 4 and that will be stored in name length. So after that you just print the object. So just try to print the object and check whether it is proper or not. So resultant object is, we'll just try person. So we'll see whether the length is proper or not. Okay, so let's check. Node space index.js. So see, name John is there, address is there, phone, email, password, but you can see name length is 4 because we are passing as a John. So if you pass as a other name, like let's suppose we are passing as a Harry. So it is basically 5, total length is 5. So we'll try to print again and we'll see the name length is 5. So we have done. So this problem was basically the basic problem where you will explore how to create an object. So you'll try to create objects, what syntax will be there, that you can learn from this. And then how to access the object properties using dot operator, how to set new properties using dot operator, how to manipulate that property using dot length. You have manipulated, you have calculated the length of the Harry. So to understand this starting of problems, I have provided this. Okay, so this is the solution. So you can map that solution to your solution which you have written. Okay, so next we'll move on to, so understood, any doubt is there here? Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, simple way only we have to go. We should not go very complicated. We should not make complicated. See, problem is different, but you have to break the problem into steps. Then problem will become very easy to solve. If you are not understanding one time, read it 2 times, 3 times. Try to get it out of something from that problem. Okay, then you will be able to solve that problem very properly. Okay, so next we'll move on to next problem. So next problem says like given a string as an input. So basically we have one string as an input. So one input should be there. So this is basically this missing things is there. Basically you have to create one function here. Okay, function which will take string as input. Input will be string. Fine. So one function should be created where input should be string. Now what is that? The function should return total count of each of the character. So see, whatever input you have got, like let's suppose one small example I'll give you, apple, apple. So in apple, how many letters are there? A is 1 letter, P is 1 letter, L is 1 letter, and last E is 1 letter, right? So A is, how many counts are there in apple? So 1. P is how many? 2. So it should be 2. L is how many? 1. So it should be 1. E is how many? 1. So it should be 1. So it should be all in this way, and in object format it should return. Okay. So this is the output. So see, you can see here pineapple as an input. So we have to write one function called input, which takes input as a string, and then we have to calculate each total count of each character, right? So P. So how many counts are there for P? So 3. 1, 2, 3. So same way I. So I is also 1, right? N is 1. E is E and E 2. A is 1 and L is 1. So we have to do some operation on the string and we have to convert it into object. Okay, and based on that we will try to manipulate. Okay, so for that already see, this is one kind of hint. Output they have provided, no, that is kind of hint. So it's already like done. Like see, normally we won't provide input output, we'll just give like as a string and each character. That time people will not understand how to calculate. But if I provided here object, no, you got hint like, okay, if I'll go through object it will get properly and easily it will be distributed. So what is the logic behind it to do this? First what we'll do, we'll loop this string, okay, first, and we'll create one object, one empty object we'll create. See, already we know object always takes a property as unique. All the key of the property should be unique, right? Property name or key name should be unique. So let's suppose, so before this problem, I wanted to showcase something to you. Like see, I'll just create one object before that problem. I'll just try to make you understand what I'm trying to tell. So I'll just write name and I'll write apple, apple, right? Now see, name apple I have written, right? So if I'll do obj dot name equal to ball. So now same name, see normally what happens? Normally if you want to add a new property, then we can write like okay that property name will be there. But here if the same property will be there, then it will work as a setting new value, right? Setting new value to the existing property. If already property exists, but if property does not exist, means in second scenario, like let's suppose it will be obj dot age. So see, now age is not there, right? Age is not there in this object. So age is not there in this object means it will add the property. So what we learned here, if already things will be there, if property will be there, then it will override the new value. Okay, it will override the new value. But if property won't be there, it will add the new property to that object. Okay, so this is one case. So it will never the scenario will come where we'll have name as apple and again name as ball. It will not come the scenario. It will never come this scenario. Name apple, name ball. It will never come. Name will be always, property will be always unique. Okay, always unique. It will not be duplicate. It will not be repeated. Okay, so this kind of example we can take to that problem. Okay, so I'll just try to. So what we are going to do here? So what we are going to do? So we will take one empty object. Okay, and so we'll object dot p. So object dot p will increment the count as 1. So object dot p increment the count as 1. Again it will go loop. Again object dot I 1. Object dot n 1. Object dot e 1. Object dot a 1. But again object dot p increment the count. So every time if anything will come, it will increment the count. So it will become what is that? 2. So p will become 2. So object dot p again it will become 3. Object dot l, so it will become 1. Object dot e, it will become 2. So like that if we try to do, no, so if already existing will be there, it will increment the count. If not existing will be there, it will mention the one number count. Okay, so that way we can go and try. So let's check with this solution. Okay, so let's start. So what we have to do, we have to create a function. Okay, so let's create a function. So we'll write here function, and we are trying to do total length of the character, right? So name, write total character length. Total char length we can create name. So I will say like, okay, this function belongs to what type of, like what is the name, what is the logic behind this function, what is the function used for. Name is very like important because name only suggests what exactly the function behavior is, function implementation is, right? So this accept string, so I'll just write str. Okay, so str. Now what we have to do, we have to return as an object format, okay, with all the count of each of the character. Okay, so what we will do, first we will try to okay, so let's see. So we'll try to str is there, right? So we'll do for loop, let I equal to 0, I less than str dot length, oh sorry, I plus plus, right? So like this, if you try to print str, sorry, what is that? Str of I. Now you will see. First I'll print this str of I. Okay. So try to do this console.log, and we'll try to print str of I. Now you'll see if I'll go for str of I, and then I will try to call this. So call this function after this with string as pineapple. So let's call with this only. Okay. So now we see. Now you'll see it will be printing one by one, right? So we'll just clear it. This is not the solution basically. This is just we are looping so that we can get each character. See, so each time the character will be P. Sometimes the character will be P, then again I, again N, again E, A, P, P, L, E. Okay, P, P, L, E. Fine. So what will happen? So we'll just do one thing. So what we'll do? We'll create one object. Okay, so we'll create one object. Let obj equals empty bracket, empty. Nothing is there in that, right? So here what we'll do, obj of, okay, so variable is a dynamic key, right? So dynamic key will be str of I. So str of I is nothing but one time it is p, and obj of p is nothing but it will be obj p in property p. See, one time again I'm telling. str of I is nothing but one time p, one time I, n, e. So str of, see, like, see how it is like this. Like, see, let obj equals curly bracket, fine, and then I'm telling obj of p in string. Obj of p equal to, let's suppose 1 I'm trying to do. So what will happen here, it will just create a ob one this one property called p, right? We'll create a property called p. So here we'll just let it be like this only. We'll just leave it as it is, and we'll just try to do this. So let's print this and we'll see. See, so one property p which is having 1, it came or not? So this p value basically it's coming str of I. str of I is p, str of I is I, str of I is n, str of I is e. Because I is incrementing 0 to 1, right? So 0 will be p, 1 will be I, n will be, sorry, 2. So like that it will be 2. So obj of str of I is nothing but obj of p. So see, it's coming this format, and we need this format p colon 3, like that we need, right? So what we'll do, we'll just write, okay, so I'll just write what we can do. So obj of str of I equals, okay, equals, what logic we can apply here? So it should be like, see, p. So first time p should be 1 first, and the next p should be 2, next p should be 3. So it's like incrementing, right? It's incrementing. So what we can do here, we can just write it as str of p, sorry, str, no, obj, obj of str of I plus 1. Let's see. So first of all, str of I should be, I think, 0. So we'll try to check what it's coming. We'll just try to understand what it's trying to come. And then after that, we will try to print this. Okay. So let's console, or else let's console here obj, and let's see what is happening. Okay. So obj. So like this, step by step you have to check. So see, every time it's coming nan. Why nan means? Because what happening, no, like first time if nothing property don't have any value, that means it's a undefined, right? So in that case what we can do, either we can do for this. So we can do obj of str of I, okay, if it's there, if the value is there, then just do +1 or else do 1. Okay, means what I'm telling, if this property having the value or the property exists, that time just do increment the value, like add the value +1 or else do 1. So let's try with this now. See. Okay, okay, this p1 is down 1. Okay, p1 is down 1. Okay, that's it. See, came easily. So what we did, we are trying to check, like, see, we are trying to check if object has that property, then increment the value as 1. If object does not have that property, then just assign 1. Okay, so you're checking if object has the value property, has the value, some value, then it will be increment with 1. Ternary operator I have used, right? Increment with 1 or else assign 1. So what happens in first step? So let's go and trace this problem, okay, so that you'll understand better. So let's go for pineapple, okay. So pineapple. So let's go for pineapple. So it will be I equal to 0, that means p, right? And I less than str. So let's go for test case. Test case, so that you'll understand properly better. Okay. So let's go for that. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so I equal to 0. I equal to 0. So let's go I equal to 0. Now what happened? I less than str dot length. So str dot length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total length is 9. So str length is 9, right? So which is less than, sorry, which is greater than 0, right? So it's a true value, right? That's what we are comparing. I less than str dot length. So 0 is less than 9. It's a true. Now it will go obj. So obj of now str of I. So str of I is nothing but it's a str of 0 because I is 0. So str of I is nothing but, I'll just write here, str of I is nothing but str of 0, which is nothing but p, right? Because you can see str of 0 is p. So str of I is totally p. So here p, right? Str of I totally p. So here p. Now equals, okay, equals. Now see, str of I obj. So obj of p. So see, in obj none of the property is there. It's an empty object. So if empty object is there, if you're trying to check obj of p, then definitely it will be undefined only. Nothing is there, right? So this obj of str of p at this stage, there is nothing, right? So at this stage, there is nothing. So it is undefined. So if this value is undefined, means the p does not have any value, or p property is only is not there in the object. So if that is there, then what you do? If not, if it is true, means if already having, then add 1. But if it is not having, then assign 1, directly 1. So if it is undefined, that's what we'll assign as 1. Okay. So what will happen now? So resultant will be, now resultant obj will be what? Now in this stage obj will be p with 1. Okay, after iteration 0. Now let's go for iteration 1. So we'll go for iteration 1. Okay, next iteration. Now next iteration is 1. Okay, so next iteration 1, you see 1. So 1 is nothing but I, right? 1 is nothing but I. So we'll go for str of, okay, let's check this. I'll copy this as well and I'll paste it here, right? So this time str of I, str of 1, because I is 1, right? So this time it is I, right? So it will check obj of I. So obj of I is, so this time also it will check, okay, if obj of I is there, but obj of I is not there, only obj of P is there, right? Obj of P is there, but obj of I is not there. So this time also it got failed. So again I also will be assigned with 1. So second value it will assign with. So it will be, so resultant obj will be curly bracket p colon 1 comma I colon 1. Okay, in I equal to 1. So next it will be I equal to 2. So let's go for I equal to 2. So I equal to 2. Okay, now see I equal to 2. So I equal to 2 is nothing but it's a n, right? So n will go for, so n. So I equal to 2 and this is n, right? So obj of n. So obj, you are not, you are seeing obj there is no n, right? Nothing is there. So nothing is there means again 1 will be assigned to n. So again it will be added as n colon 1, right? Again next I equal to 3 will go. Okay, I equal to 3 will go. So 3. So let's see in 3 third what is there. So in third 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's a E. Okay, so E. So str of 3. So value is E. Okay, value is E. So E. Now see in obj E is there, not there. Only P, I and N is there. So this also will be having only 1. So E equal to 1. Right, it will be added. So this iteration also got over. Now let's go for fourth iteration. Okay, so I equal to 4. So let's check in 4 what is there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, A. So we'll check for A. So we'll check for Okay, so 4 we'll check for A. Iteration is 4, so it's a, right? So you can see obj A is there, not there, right? So this also will be added as 1. So A as 1. Okay, now next go. Now next we'll go for iteration 5. Iteration 5. So iteration 5. So let's see what is in iteration 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So P. It came iteration 5 as P. So now see. So iteration 5C P. P. So see here P. So but here the condition C. Now it is P, right? So condition C. So condition what we are writing? If obj of P is having some value, so yes, obj of P is having value because P properties already exist. So it's a true. First time it became true. So already P value is 1. So what we are going to do? We are going to do obj of P, whatever value is there, that is 1 plus 1. So it will become 2 and assign into same obj of P because str of I is also P, str of I is also P. So it will be like this. Obj of P equal to obj of P, okay, plus 1. So tell obj of P is what? Obj of P is 1 because already we have in fifth iteration you can see P is there, the value is 1. So P is 1. So 1 plus 1. So it will be 2 and it will assign to same obj of P, right? So now what will happen in fifth iteration, the obj of P will have from 1 to 2. Okay, now in sixth iteration we'll go. So sixth iteration. So let's go for sixth iteration. So I equal to 6. Here is a 6. So let's see in sixth what is there. Sixth also P is there. So again P pseudo increments, right? Because P is already there. So sixth P is increment. So again P is this time 2. So increment by 1, right? Obj of P plus 1, right? This will be the case. Here also I'll paste, right? So what will happen? Obj of P is nothing but 2 plus 1. So it become 3. So P became 3. Now let's go for seventh iteration. So seventh iteration is L. So L is not there in the obj. See, L is not there after sixth iteration also. So L will be only 1. So if we go for seventh iteration, now you see I equal to 7 and str of 7. So it's a L. L. Now this L. Now this time L is not there in the object. That's why there won't be any addition. Directly 1 will be assigned. Okay. So let's add here L colon 1. Right. Now next let's again check with others. So it's a sorry 7. Now 8. 8. So 8 is E. So again I 8 is E. So I 8 is E. Right. So 8 is E. So this value will be E. Now here will be E. Now see, already E is available, right? It's a 1. So if E is available, then what you will do? You will just add. So obj of E plus 1. So it will become E as 2. So this is the final output. Okay. P3, I1, N1, E2, A1, L1. So this is the complete output which you will get. Okay. So these are the proper iterations. So you can check this iteration properly. Okay. But this you will understand when you have studied ternary operator, because ternary operator is nothing but if and else. So if this condition will pass, okay, if this condition will pass, then what happens? Or else instead of this, we can just write obj dot has on property because I'm checking whether the property is there or not, right? That has an property, what is that? str of I. Means if obj has property that whatever p, then do plus, or else assign 1 to it, right? It's a colon, right? It's a colon. So either you can write like this way. If you are getting confusion with this line, then comment this line and just check like this. If, okay, obj dot has on property str of I. If that is there, then do one thing, then do what? Obj of str of I equals, okay, obj of str of I plus 1, or else if not there, if that property is not there in that, so just assign this obj of str of I to 1. That's it. So either you can write this if else, or else you can write this ternary, which is like either plus or 1. So this is the two things you can execute. Okay, so this is the test case. You can go through. I'll paste it in the docs later. Okay, you can go through and understand this, how it became. Okay, fine. So, got it? So this is the problem. Okay, so try to check that. Okay, so like this you can solve this. Now next is what? See, next is given object below, create a function. Okay, so create a function. So there is one input called object, and create a function which take this object. So whatever object it has mentioned, that object it will take, and convert all the value property, means whatever value is there, properties values like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all to uppercase letter. Okay, all to uppercase letter. So this problem has two-way method. One is like normally you have to check, like see what is the problem. Now see, we'll check. Okay, so first what we'll do, we have to loop it, right? Because we have to do all the properties. So first we have to loop it. So we already know looping the object, we have for in loop, right? We have already discussed for in loop. So we'll do for in loop to this object, and we'll check if the property have, just we'll try to do property value convert into this capital letter. So let's try this. So let's go and start this problem. So I'll just go for this. I'll just start this. So let's so just try to do this function, convert to upper. We'll just write one name, and which takes obj. Okay, and that obj, so we'll try to do something. So yeah, so this I'll just call this convert to upper, and we'll pass not obj but that object, right? So we're trying to call that, pass that object directly. Okay, so this entire object will go to obj. So if you want to print, you can just print this. So if you print this obj, you can see this entire object. So you're getting entire object, right? Obj. I think top one I have to comment it out because it's still creating issue. They already completed this problem, so we don't need this. Okay, let's try once again. Clear. Okay, so see, we have this object, right? So let's try to make it convert into string. Okay, so here, okay, so here. So first what we'll do for in loop. So let's do for in loop. So for let I in obj. Right? This is only for in loop. And let's try to print I and obj. So first let's print console.log. Let's print I comma obj of I. Means both we are printing. So I is basically key. So I'll just write here comment key is, okay, and here I'll write value is. Okay, so let's try to print. So let's try to, we want, now I want print this object, we'll figure it out. Okay, let's clear it and let's see. So key is name, value is John. Key is qualification, value is doctor. Key is address and value is entire object, right? So let it be, just ignore this address as it is now. So if key is name, value is John. So what is key? Key is basically I and value is basically obj of I, right? Obj of I. Why obj of? Because obj of name is nothing but John. Obj of qualification is nothing but doctor. So that's why obj of I is value. Okay. Now let's convert this value into uppercase, right? So what we'll do? We'll try to convert. So inside this for loop only, we'll do obj of I dot to uppercase. To uppercase. But many people will write this and they will do, okay, obj of I dot to uppercase we have done. So we have made obj of value to uppercase. Now let's try to print it. What happens? One second. What is there is a problem? I think we didn't write. Why obj of I dot to uppercase? Okay, why it's printing wrong means when it's trying to see, because see obj of I dot to uppercase will only work on string value, right? Only work on string value, because to uppercase is basically method of string. So it will work for this, it will work for this, but it will not work for this, because obj of address is nothing but object, but object it will not work, right? It won't work for object, because object it will break, only on string it will work. So what happens here? We have to check. So we have to check here, if the value is string, means if obj of I, okay, obj of I type of, already we have studied type of obj of I, if equal to, I'll just write string. If it is string, then do to uppercase, okay, or else leave, or else ignore. So let's try to, now it won't give error. Now see, it became, but still you can see, okay, so let's try to print that obj. So let's print here, after completing we'll try to print here obj.log. I'll just write resultant obj comma obj. Let's see. So after making uppercase, what is the value of obj? So let's try to check. So I'll just, this also I'll comment, because already we know what is key and what is value, right? So let's try to print. See, resultant obj is name having John and qualification having doctor, but we did uppercase, right? Even though we did uppercase, this value didn't get changed, right? This value has to get uppercase, right? J should be capital, O should be capital, H should be capital, N should be capital. But why it didn't take? Generally, if you have to change anything in obj of I value, then just we'll take obj of I, right? So what here happening is, if you are trying to convert to uppercase, it's happening uppercase. It's converting, but we are assigning to the same obj, because what will happen, to set any value to the obj object property, what we'll do generally to set any value, so we'll do obj, right? We'll do obj and we'll do the property name, and then we'll set the value, right? Then we'll do something. So whatever operation you want to do, that operation you'll do. So that is missing. So we'll do obj of I equals. Now if we'll do obj of I equals obj of I dot uppercase, so same value it will take and it will convert, right? And it will pass to same data. So now if you try to check, okay, so this is the problem. Now see, now it converted into capital John and capital doctor. Now this two value to you have done, but what about if the value is object? This you can't do, because it's an address. Address is not a string, it's an object. So as of now, what you do, you just check if if so, see, if the value is string, then we did this, right? Now we'll see else if type of obj of I equals object, because I'm telling if the value is itself object, then that time again loop to this, right? Again loop to this and convert that. So again loop to this. So what you will do, you will just create one more for in loop. So for let j in, what will write, let j in obj of I, right? Because obj of I is nothing but it's a this. Now this became obj of I entirely. Now what you will do, now you will try to loop and you will do the same thing. Okay, so you'll do the same thing. So what you'll do, you'll just copy this and you'll paste here, but instead of this I, what will be there, obj of I of j will be there, right? Obj of I of j will be there, right? So let's see. So now let's try to print this. Now you can see all converted into capital. But this is not the feasible solution, because see, if let's suppose street also become object and locality also will become object, landmark also will become object, then that time it will break again. So for that we can go for recursive function. So we have to call recursive function. Okay, so function which itself calls that is called recursive. So we'll check in the further classes and I'll come back to the same problem and I'll solve this problem using recursive way. Okay, because now if I'll try to solve in front of you, you will not able to understand. Okay, so that topic is there, one recursive function topic is there. I might have missed that, but anyway, it's fine. I'll check that recursive function. I'll teach you what recursive function is, and then again we'll come back to this and we'll try to generate the feasible solution for this. Okay, so as of now, this is the solution for whatever input we have got. Okay, so this is the solution for that. So what we have done, we have checked if the value is string, we are trying to convert uppercase. If the value is object, then again we are looping and we are trying to convert into string. So this is the solution. Okay, and this obj of I is basically it's nested, right? So this is obj of I is nothing but this thing. So again obj of I and again looping to this means it will become j. So address dot street will become obj of I dot of j. So it will become this street. It will capture street. So that's why I've written obj of I. This is address and obj of I dot j is address dot street. So j is street, j is locality, j is landmark. So these three also will convert into uppercase. So that is the reason we have written like this. Okay, nested looping we have done because nested object is there. Okay, so try to check this properly and we'll see proper solution when we go for the further classes. Okay, fine. So try to figure it out. Okay, now next move on to fourth problem. So fourth problem what we have done? Fourth problem we have done, create a function which takes object as a parameter and return longest length key with value from object. So longest length key. So what is the problem here? It's telling take the object, any object you take, okay, as a parameter and return longest length key. So whose key is longest length, that key you have to return. Okay, that key you have to return. So see here name is having only 4, but qualification is having I think almost more than 9. Age is having 3 because 1, 2, 3. Name is having only 4. Key, not the value. Key. We are talking about key, right? And with the value from the object. So basically the output should be qualification because qualification is the longest key. So this as an output we have to get, right? So let's create a function with name return longest key, right? And then we'll pass this object as a value and we'll try to loop it. Okay, we'll try to loop it and we'll try to check object dot keys. Okay, so that we are trying to do. Okay, so first we are trying to use trying to create a function. So let's create a function. So I'll just try to return long key. Okay, property I'll just write return long key property. Means we have to return the longest key property in the object, right? So we'll just do like this. Okay. So it will take object as input. So it will take object as input. Okay. Now let's see. Now either we can do in two way. One we can directly do object dot keys. So object dot keys will give you all the keys, right? Either name, qualification, age. So if you pass any object, like let's suppose if I'm trying to call this and I'm trying to pass this entire object. So already we have studied one method, right? Object dot keys. So I'll just console this, console.log, and we'll just do object dot keys, and we'll pass that object obj, right? So obj is nothing but it's a this object, right? So it will return you the value as what is the name, qualification, is inside array, right? We have already discussed this method, object dot keys. So now let's clear and let's see. Okay, so previous problem I'll just try to comment it out. Okay, so this problem I'll just try to see. So already we know object dot keys of any object will give you all the key, right? Will give you all the key. So either you convert into array and then loop this and check the length, right? Loop this and check the length, or else directly you can do the foreign loop and you can check the value if the key is greater. So let's do for both the way. Okay, so let's try to store this. So let's do for this way and then we will do. So we'll just write key list. Okay, key list we'll write and we'll do the same thing. Object dot keys obj. Same thing we have stored this value, we have stored in one object or one variable, and then we'll try to loop. So for item of key list, simple array now. Now simple array means what will be there? Simple array means we can just go for okay, so simple array. So item dot key length, and we'll try to check. So key length means we'll just try to check. So which has highest length? So we'll just try to print. So we'll see what is that? How we can check it? How we can do this? Okay. So length. So we have to find the length. So total length is this, this, and this. Okay. So for this, what we can do? So either we can take maximum one. Let's suppose one variable we'll take, okay, which is max length. I'll make it as 0. Okay, max length will make it as sorry, empty. Max length will make it as empty. Okay, now we'll see. Now first we'll make it max length. So max length we'll check. So name. So name has max length, right? So what we'll do here, we'll try to check if no, not this. Max length as 0. So we'll try to check if max length is greater than, okay, sorry, if max length is less than what is that, item dot length, okay, item dot length, then what happens? If max length is greater than item length, then max length will be which length? That index we can take it, okay. So max length will be what we can do. We can create one more variable called max word as empty. Okay, so let's see. So max word. So we'll make max word. So if max length, we'll try to print max length. So max word, we can make it as, what is that? Item, right? Item. Okay, and max length we can make it as whatever length of that item. So we'll just make it as item dot length. Okay, now see. So what happens? Now with this, what will happen? Now with this, what happens? So see, first we'll check max length. So max length is 0. So first will be 0. So 0. Max word is empty, right? So it will loop. So it will take first word. So first word is name. So looping. This item of, so item is nothing but it's a name. So name. So name dot length, it's a 4 and max length is 0. So 0 less than 4, true. So it will become max word as name because item I'm writing and max length as 4, right? So max length as 4. So it will return, it will make the max length as whatever. So again next it will go, next iteration. So next iteration we are taking qualification, right? Qualification. So qualification max length will be 4 previously, right? And next qualification. Now qualification dot length will be more than 4. So let's suppose qualification length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So length will be 13. So 4 is less than 13. So definitely 4 is less than 13. Then what will happen? Max word will be item. So item will be qualification. So max word will be qualification and max length will be 13 now. Again next iteration. So next iteration is age. So age. So this time 13 is less than 3. False. So it will be false. So what happens? It will complete the loop because after that nothing is there. Then you will get output as max word as qualification. You will get, right? So max word as qualification. So what you will do? You will just return obj, okay, return obj of max word. That's it. Obj of max word. Why obj of max word is not happening? What happens? Okay, it's trying to check like obj of max word equal to obj of max word. I'm trying to print it. Okay, 1 second, maybe it's creating issue. So we'll try to do this way. Okay, so we'll try to do like this way. We can just write let ob equal to empty and we'll just write ob of, okay, obj of, ob of max word equals ob of obj of max word, right? So what will happen? Obj of max word. So obj of max word is nothing but obj of qualification. So obj of qualification is nothing but the property value as computer science. So computer science will be assigned to ob of max word. So return ob. So let's see. So after this returning, what will happen here? We'll just do let result equals to, and we'll try to print the result. Console.log result. So like this we can, okay, here like this we can try. So it will return u qualification of, okay. Oh, sorry, not this. There is no obj, right? Obj of max word it will be. Okay, so it will return computer science. So this is the output you will get, right? So like this we can try. So see, before we are not knowing which is the max, like this, see, this is the array, we don't know which is the max. So by default I made max length as 0 and by default we made max word as empty. So what I am doing, I am trying to check, okay, first word is greater than max length. If it is greater, then make this length as max length and make this word as max word. But if it is less than max length, then leave it. Don't do anything. Ignore this. Go to next. So again next it will go. So next means max length this time in this stage max length will be 4 and max word will be name, right? Next time what happens, max length will be compared to this. So 13 is less than, sorry, 13 is greater than 4. So now it will become max word as qualification and max length as 13. Now it will go to next. So we'll check. Okay, max length was previously 13, but now length is 4, 3. So it is greater. So it will ignore this. So maximum will be this one. So max length is 13 and max word is qualification. So it will calculate the qualification and then same way we'll try to create, because we have to send the object as this format. Send object as this format. So we have to send qualification and computer science. So that's why we are creating one new object. Okay, and there we are trying to do obj of max word. So max word is nothing but it's a qualification. So max word qualification, and then we are going to the same object and trying to get the value. So to get the value, what we have to do? Obj of qualification. So obj of qualification is nothing but computer science. So like that we have created new object and returning that object. So that's why it's printing qualification computer science. So this is the way we can solve the problem. Okay, so this is the way. Fine. So either you can do one for in loop and you can loop to this object, and that way you can create the count. So which is the count is there, that object you can return. So that is one way you can do. Okay, so this is the two way you can solve this problem. Now next is, okay, I think it became 8:42. Okay, let's complete, let's stop this here itself till 4. Okay, try to check this problem once again and try to understand the solutions. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue further 2 more problems. Okay, fine. So tomorrow we'll continue 2 more problems. Okay, so let's stop this. Thank you.